Welcome to Friday's maths lesson. So again, today we're carrying on with our subtraction unit. So as always, to start off, we'll have a little look and a little recap of the method. Today I'm just going to pop it on. So once you see it, just pause the screen, have a little reminder. You may not need to, but it might be helpful for some people to just jog the memory. Okay, so have a little pause and a little look at this just to remind you how we work out our subtraction when we are crossing. Okay, so today we are subtracting two-digit numbers from three-digit numbers. We are crossing 10 or 100 today, so it could be either, okay? Now in the last lesson, we just focused on crossing the 100, so today we're doing a little bit different. So for the first question, it says use base 10 to make the number 253, so you're going to be given an example there. Then subtract 27 from 253. So again, it says show a pattern of the method you use. You could show someone around the house and just explain how you did it to them. If you've used base 10, that's absolutely fine. If you would rather do a different method, if you'd rather do column, again, also fine. I really don't mind whatever method works for you. Okay, next part of question 1. So again, you've got a column subtraction now. So have a go, if you haven't had a go at setting it out like that, have a go at setting it out like that now. Okay, number 2. So work out 426 subtract 82. So you've been given your number in a place value chart with some place value counters. And you've also been given it as a column subtraction. So remember, if we start with our ones, so 6 take away 2, then we do 2 take away 8. Can we do that? Well, 2 is smaller than 8, so no, we can't. So we need to exchange. Okay. So for question 3, again, we're doing column subtractions. So be careful here. Again, make sure that when you are setting this out, your columns are all lined up properly. So it's nice and clear to make sure that your ones, your tens, and your hundreds are all in the same column so we don't get mixed up. Okay, so have a look, think carefully. Some of these may be exchanging from a 10 to the ones. Some may be exchanging from the hundreds to the tens. Just be careful where you're crossing. And again, same for these last 2 for number 3. So again, working out really carefully. Okay. Number 4. So a film is shown 3 times in a day. The table shows how many children watch each showing. So the showing times are 11 a.m., 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. So the number of children at 11 a.m. is 462. The number of children at 3 p.m. is 295. And at 7 p.m. it's 78. So how many more children watch the 11 a.m. showing than the 7 p.m. showing? So think carefully. Again, we are subtracting today. So think which 2 numbers will you need to subtract to find out the difference between those 2 amounts of children, to find out how many more. Number 5. Now, we've got a bar model here. Now, as we know, in bar model, this top bar here, the full bar, will always be my biggest number because the numbers underneath will add up to make this number. So this number here will be smaller than this number, okay? So you've got 728, you've got 45. Think about what calculation do you need to do to work out this number here. Same for this one. This number here will be smaller than this number here, but it will be bigger than these 2 because it's a bigger part of the bar. So have a go in this one as well. So 650, you've got 2 numbers here. So you might want to do something with these 2 numbers before you use your biggest number, before you use your answer to find out this number here. Okay, so what mistakes have been made in these column subtractions? So for these 2 questions, the best thing you can do is work it out yourself. So write down the calculation. So write down 357 subtract 29. Work out the answer for yourself. Both of these answers are wrong, so you need to check what they've done. And then for the next one, again, so 602 subtract 35 even. So work out what would you do? What is the right answer? And then have a look, what did they do wrong? So think really carefully. So I should see an example of you solving that problem. And the reason we've got these lines, you have to write a sentence. Now, it doesn't have to be pages and pages, just one sentence, maybe two, to explain just basically what they've done wrong. Number 7. Whitney uses a number line to show that 435 subtract 78 equals 357. Explain what you think Whitney has done. So have a look at how she's worked this out. What has she done? Number 8. Okay, so for this one, you need to work out the missing digits. So you have to think carefully here. Now I've got 5 take away something equals 6. Now I can't do, well, we need to think about how we would do that. So what number can't I do? What ones can I do? So start by going 5 take away 1. Well, we know it's not going to that. And work up like that until you work out how we do 5 take away 6. Chances are you might have to do some exchanging for this one. So how would you work that out? And again, same for B. Think, what might I do? Now be careful here. Remember, some people will probably jump and put 0 there, but if I do 0 take away 8, it's not going to be 8. So be careful with these. They are quite tricky. Take your time. Might take a couple of attempts at this one, which is absolutely fine. Just take your time and work it out. Okay, so question A says use 3 different methods to work out 470 subtract 79. 3 different methods. So you could draw it in a different way, represent it in a different way. You could partition the number into different ways. So you could do it as a column, maybe. Think of how you could partition it differently. So you don't maybe you might not take away 79. How could you partition 79 into different numbers and go from there? And again, same kind of thing. So how would you work out 500 take away 68? So when we come to look at the answers to this one, the answers to A will help you to work out B and choose which method you think is best. Okay, so answers now. So again, I hope you're ready to mark. Let's get going. So have a look. Hopefully you've got the exchanging and the carrying in the right place. So you've crossed out the right number. You can see nice and clearly there. Okay, and for the next one as well. So when we look at question 6, so that person found the difference between the numbers. So they didn't bother doing the exchanging, they just looked at the 2 numbers and subtracted the difference between them. This next person exchanged 100 for 10 ones. So they should have crossed out the 10 in the tens column and made it into a 9, when instead they just pulled another 100 across. Okay, and there are your final answers as well. So your answers for question 9 might be slightly different. Again, your answer for B is 432. You might have worked out in a variety of different ways. Okay, so that is our maths for this week. I hope you've enjoyed doing a bit of subtraction. We will be coming back to more addition and subtraction next week as well. So I will see you next week for some more maths. Bye.